Yes, sir.
Hello, madam.
Sir.
Everything is ready, madam.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Check with the A section. Hello, A section, is it audible?
Yes.
Just raise your hands. A section, is it audible? Okay, okay. B section students, is my voice is audible? Vinay, please raise your hand. Vinay, first row. Madam, over to you.
Okay, sir. Sir, Kesavaraja, sir. Sir, Kesavaraja, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Please.
Madam also okay, no? Shall I start, sir?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Okay. Good morning. Our guest, today's guest, Dr.D.Kesavaraja, sir. Dr.D.Sasireka, madam. Students and my dear faculty members. A very good morning to you all. And first, sir, really, I'm very happy to invite Kesavaraja sir once again to our campus for conducting a workshop. So, first, let me introduce our guest, Dr.D.Kesavaraja sir. So, he is having the experience of 20 years in teaching. So, he is working as associate professor in Dr. Sivanthi Avattanar College of Engineering, Tiruchendur. So, he has done more certifications and he received many awards and rewards. So, he has recognized as a SOHO certified trainer by the SOHO Corporation, and he has conducted 261 FDPs, I think, and he is awarded as SAP Award for Excellence by IIT Bombay, and he has received Outstanding Reviewer Award from elsewhere. He is a Board of Studies member in Sri Sarada College for Women, and he has received 3 times continuously a Best Paper Award in National Conference on Innovative Computing Technologies and Applications, and he is acted as an discussion forum moderator, mentor of IIT Bombay, FDPs. And this one, I'm feeling really very proud. He has prepared a LaTeX template for our campus, for our AML students, based on our project report. So while seeing his profile, I felt really very happy by seeing this point. And he is very good in deep learning, machine learning concepts. So really, he is very wonderful trainer, and he is a very good report writer for the journals, for publications, and he is conducting more workshops, FDPs, seminars, guest lectures, etc. So I feel sir is really deserving, and we are very proud to have sir with us. So I welcome you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
And one more guest, madam is Dr.D.Sasireka. Madam is sister, sir sister, Kesavaraja sir sister. So first time I'm meeting ma'am. Madam is also working in MEFCO Sadak Engineering College, Sivagasi. So she has published more than 20 research papers in various peer-reviewed journals, and he has completed MTech from Anna University. So her research interests include image processing, machine learning, and cloud computing. So, madam, I welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Next, when we to the workshop point of view, students. So the title is Python powered research, crafting insights, and presenting results with LaTeX. So by seeing the title, you can understand it includes Python, it includes LaTeX, right? So already I have discussed with sir. You people, our students has studied Python in our academic curriculum. So I told sir not to go more, not to spend more time for Python. Why? Because as all our students are already having the knowledge with Python. But why we have included Python in this workshop, in the sense, the intention is not only to train you in terms of report preparation. Okay. So already next semester, you are going to implement major project. So what sir will do in the sense, Sir will explain you to collect the data set and analyze the data set, how to take the results by using Python, how to prepare the graphs. So this will be very useful to you in terms of major project. So this project is not only aimed to concentrate with LaTeX. So LaTeX is one part of it. So he is going to explain to the data set, how to process it, how to analyze it with algorithms. So how to take the results, how to take the graphs, and he will explain you how to write a paper. Why? Because you want to implement major project, you want to write a paper for publication, and also sir is going to explain about report preparation by using the tool LaTeX. So the LaTeX is a very good tool. When we prepare the reports in our word processing, I mean the word, that alignment problems, those things and all, we will be facing it. But while using LaTeX, it is very much simplified. So it's a tool, and moreover, already last year itself, SAR has prepared a LaTeX package for us. According to our project report, SAR has prepared a LaTeX format for us. So you can listen it. It will be very useful. Within 1 hour, I mean, by using the template, you can prepare the reports very easily. Okay. So that is what the intention of this. And so hope you all will understand it. And this is a 3-day session. Today, tomorrow, and moreover 30th we have scheduled. Why? Because the Friday you don't have a class, sir. So we have scheduled on Monday, 30th. So again, if required, if you feel still more explanations or doubt clarifications are required, we will request sir. Sir is very friendly and sir is closely associated with us. Sir has conducted, this is the 3rd workshop, I think. So we can request sir. Sir will help on us. So please keep it in mind and don't waste the time, students. These 3 days workshop, you utilize it very efficiently so that it will be useful for your report preparations for many major project, seminar reports, and also implementation of the projects. It will be very helpful. And I welcome our faculty members. I think Praveen sir. Actually, today I am not able to present, so sir is taking care of it, Praveen sir. Really, I am thank you, sir. And Praveen sir, Venkateshwarlu sir, Monica madam, Gobi sir. So, and Venu sir is also there. System admins are also along with you. Venu sir and Kiran sir. So, everyone will take care of you. So, students, you people utilize it and don't waste the time. Okay. So once again, I welcome you all. And sir, Kesavaraja sir,
Thank you,
you
ma'am.
want to
Thank you.
speak anything, sir?
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Sir, is it audible and clear? Praveen, sir?
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Thank you.
Sir,
So,
Kesavaraja sir, one request.
sorry, ma'am.
One request, sir. One request, sir.
Shall I start?
Yes, sir. Sir, one
Thank
request.
you, ma'am. Yeah,
Sir.
yes.
Just you please address it once. Am I audible, sir?
Sorry, ma'am, your voice is breaking.
Praveen, sir.
Praveen, sir, please.
Praveen, sir.
Yeah, tell me, madam.
Sir, you request sir for let sir address it. Once addressing, we will give a break for students.
10:40. Okay, ma'am.
That you please request with sir. Already 25, no?
Okay. After break, continue the session.
First let him address it, sir. Then
Okay.
session we will start after break. You please communicate. Sir, mobile is also not connected for me.
Okay.
Sir, Kesavaraja, sir, you can address now.
Okay, ma'am, okay. A very fine good morning, students. So today's session, which will be titled as Python powered research, crafting insights and presenting results with LaTeX. So theme of the session. So we are implementing a simple Python example, which can provide all those required results for journal publication. Just for intro, 2 seconds. So is it audible?
Sir, hello.
Is it audible now?
Now your voice is audible, sir. So you address for 5 minutes and then give a break to them. They will
Sure.
10:40.
Sure, sir.
Just introduce for 5 minutes, and then later they will take a break for up to 10:40. They will join by 10:40.
Sure, sir. Sure.
Okay.
So today's session, we are focusing on Python powered research. So we are implementing excellent algorithm like a classification algorithm of SVM, decision tree, or random forest in Python with a data set. Then we are collecting all those results and presenting a paper. This is the agenda for this 3-day session. So day 1, we are implementing in Python. Day 2, we are collecting all those results and start preparing in LaTeX document. Day 3, we are fine-tuning a journal publication. This is the agenda for the 3 days plan. So in this day 1, so first and foremost, I would like to thank Dr. Jenny ma'am for providing another opportunity to meet young budding engineers of Vigan Institute of Engineering and Technology. So sincere thanks to Jenny ma'am and their team for providing this opportunity. So the day 1 session. So today is the day 1. So we are focused on research using Python. So in this research, I hope everyone very much familiar about Python. So I'm not entering into Python. So theme was entering into implementation of Python. So machine learning and 1 or 2 slides for application. Then we are entering into the supervised learning algorithm. Just for small intro on this algorithm, then take a large data set and performing the operation of linear regression, decision tree, random forest with all those metrics and collecting all those results. This is the agenda for this day 1 session. So day 1, we are completely focused on machine learning algorithm with collecting results for our journal publication. From that, day 2, we are preparing a journal paper in LaTeX. Then finally, we are fine-tuning an excellent paper with your own results too. So this is a session for 3 days plan. So sincere thanks to the entire team. So we will start the session after 10 minutes. So we'll start at 10:40. So thanks to everyone.
Students, all
Sir, is this okay?
Okay,
I
sir.
hope-
Sir, Kesavaraja, sir.
10:40 sharply will join.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Okay, sir. Sir, I'm taking a leave, sir. Please.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Students, all of you join by 10:40 sharp. Take a break now.
Okay, Praveen, sir.
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, sir. I'm taking leave. I will
Okay.
leave.
Praveen sir, shall we start?
Sir, you can start, sir, now.
Sure, thank you. So my screen is visible, am I right? Yeah. A very fine good morning again, students. So today's session, we are focused on starts with machine learning types. So small intro. So I hope everyone familiar about Python, but base is about machine learning. Just 2 slides, then entering into machine learning algorithm. Fine. So then what are all the applications on machine learning? Then we are entering into supervised learning, linear regression, decision tree, random forest, and decision tree and random forest, both R and C. In the sense, both the algorithm which will be supported for regression as well as classification. So at last, we are entering into what are all the possible system metrics with a real-time example, precision, recall, and F1 score. So this is the agenda for this day one session. This is the complete agenda for the day one session. 1 second. So starts with a small introduction. Fine. Starts with a small introduction on machine learning. So machine learning, a machine can learn from data. So theme was machine, like a robo. Robo is a machine which can learn everything from a data. So machine can learn from data. Whatever input you are giving, based on its learning, machine can respond. So whatever input it learning, machine can respond. This is the theme of machine learning. So machine learning, the science of getting computers to act without being explicitly programmed. You can underline the word explicitly programmed. There is no explicit programming is needed. So based on the data, machine can automatically learn and it can act accordingly. Based on the input data, machine can learn and it can act accordingly. So this is a theme of machine learning. So machine learning is a part of computer science. Machine learning is a part of computer science domain. So the theme was infer knowledge from data. Actually, we can extract knowledge from the data. So that I'm giving a small example. Please see this example. So read it from bottom to top. Okay. So initially, it's a raw data. So raw data is red color. So you can listen carefully. The raw data was red color. So user can identify the color was red. From that data, user can understand the meaning of the data. It's a south-facing traffic lights. It's a south-facing traffic light. The light was turned on into red. The light was turned on into red. So the data from that red color, you can understand it's a traffic light. The light was blinking in red color. Then now the context, that's the knowledge. The traffic light, while I'm driving towards the, has turned red. So while I'm driving towards the traffic light, that portion was turned into red color. So this is a context. This is the knowledge I'm gaining. From that knowledge, so it's a red color traffic light was turned on. So it's better to stop a car. So it's for wisdom. So the theme of machine learning, from the data, you can extract information. From that information, you can extract knowledge. From that knowledge, you can extract wisdom. So the raw data, the meaning of the data, apply that appropriate context, then you can apply it. So this is a theme of machine learning process. So introduction to machine learning. So sorry, I think I'm using eraser to erase everything. Okay. So in an ordinary system, so with some AI mechanism, some machine learning algorithm, it can learn from data, then it can provide prediction of future, then it can provide the improvement of markets. So this is the advantage of machine learning. Then this machine learning, which have wide variety of applications, e-commerce for content personalization, accident prevention system, medical diagnosis system, image recognition for gaming, predictive maintenance. So these are the wide variety of applications of machine learning. So in that machine learning, there are three major algorithms which plays a vital role. The first one, which is called as supervised learning. The second one, which is named as unsupervised learning. The third one, which is named as reinforcement learning. So, which have wide variety of algorithms like linear regression, logistic regression, long-term, short-term memory, decision tree, random forest, reinforcement learning, k-mean, So machine learning having wide variety of algorithm for learning from data and then acquire knowledge and then it can predict the future. So these are the wide variety of algorithms of machine learning. So we are entering into the core part. So there are two types, one supervised, the second one unsupervised learning. So supervised learning, so there is no class based on the data. It can understand the classes, then it can predict the future. So I'm not entering here. Yes. So, okay, this is a core part. So regression and classification. So regression, it can predict the exact value. Okay, fine. Regression in the sense predict the exact value. Classification in the sense whether it's in group 1 or group 2. For example, I'm giving example. Based on your entire student's class mark, I can predict the university mark of a student. That's called as regression. I can predict whether the student is pass or fail in the university exam, whether in group 1, pass group, or group 2, fail group. That's called as classification. I'm giving you another example. You can predict the exact temperature of tomorrow. That's called as regression. You can predict whether the tomorrow's temperature is cold or hot, whether the class is in cold or class is in hot. This is called as classification. That's fine. Hope it's clear. So regression in the sense predict the exact value. Classification in the sense whether it's in group 1 or group 2. Praveen sir?
Sorry, sir.
Okay, thank you. So regression in the sense you can predict the exact value. Classification in the sense whether it's in group 1 or group 2. Then already we've seen many applications. So these are some of the applications. I'm entering into demo. So steps involved in machine learning. Please listen carefully. These are the things which is very essential for implementing a machine learning algorithm. So step 1, define a problem. Because if you are implementing a research, your theme was, the 3 days theme was, you are creating your own research. Then based on the research, you can implement it in Python, apply some algorithms. Then you can extract the results based on your problem, based on your result, based on your algorithm. You can prepare an excellent research paper with novelty. This is a theme of 3-day session. So the machine learning projects, so machine learning implementation, which involves 5 stages. Listen carefully. The first one, the problem definition. Define your problem. So whether you can predict the student's mark, or whether you can predict the goal rate, or whether you can predict the temperature of tomorrow, something like that. So you can define your problem first. Second step, prepare the data. So you can collect the data set. Already I will give several, very soon I will share a data set collections. So standard data set was available. So whether you can download from that data set, otherwise you can prepare your own data set too. Fine. So preparing a data. From the data set, you can prepare a data for model. Okay. So in a fine tuning model, which need data in a proper format. So you can prepare in that format. Okay. First one, define a problem. So problem statement was very essential for any research. Second one, for prepare a data, fine tune it, whatever required. The third one, evaluate your algorithm. Test your algorithm. Then last, improve your result. Improve the performance of your result. Then presentation is very important for any research. Any research is concerned, presentation plays a vital role. Always everything need a fancy layout. So presentation is very important. So these are the 5 major stages in machine learning algorithm. So I start with the small mathematics, then I'm entering into machine learning algorithm in Python. Okay. So machine learning implementation in Python, which need 5 major packages. The first package, NumPy, is used for n-dimensional array. NumPy is a package which is used for handling array. Pandas is data analysis library. Pandas is a data analysis library which can handle everything in a data frames. Matplotlib. It's a library which choose to plot everything in a graph. Matplotlib is a library which choose to handle everything in a graphical representation. Then SCI Kitlan. SCI Kitlan. This is an algorithm. This is a package which comprising of all machine learning algorithm. This package which comprising of all kind of machine learning algorithm. Seaborn, which choose to provide the excellent visualization. Excellent visualization. These are the libraries are very essential for machine learning implementation. These libraries are very much essential. These 5 libraries are very essential for machine learning algorithm implementation. So starts with small mathematics, then I'm entering into machine learning. Okay, just 2 slides. So I hope everyone very much familiar about correlation. All those machine learning algorithms which need correlation. Correlation is a statistical association between 2 variables. Correlation is a statistical association between 2 variables. So for example, the statistical association between x and y equal to mx plus c, it's an equation of line. It's a real world example. It provides an equation of line, a real world example. Okay, so correlation between the real world, correlation is a example for real world example is line equation y equal to mx plus c. So I am giving a correlation example. If there is no correlation between 2 variables, the correlation factor is 0. If one variable increases, other is also increases. That's called as positive correlation. If one variable increases, the other variable is decreases, then that's called as negative correlation. That's fine. We are entering into example. The 0 correlation. 0 correlation indicates there is no relationship between 2 variables. There is no relationship between 2 variables. I am giving an example. All those variables having no relation. Height and income. A person's height as well as income. The score of the person obtaining in the exam and their weight. There is no relation. Drinking a tea and their intelligence level. There is no relation between these 2 variables. Shoe size and number of movies watched, there is no relation between these 2 variables. So, if there is no relation between variables, then the correlation factor is 0. That's called a 0 correlation. The 2 variables are independent. Then, positive correlation. I'm giving you another example that is called as positive correlation. When 2 variables vary in same direction. If one variable increases, the other variable also increases. If one variable decreases, the other variable also decreases. This is called as positive correlation. One variable increases, other also increases. One decreases, other also decreases. That term which is called as positive correlation. This is positive correlation. If x increases, y also increases. If x decreases, y also decreases. That's termed as positive correlation. I'm giving an example. Time spent in a meeting, value of the person. Involvement in health and the medical dosage. Boiling point of the water, increased impurities. So these are the dependent variable. One variable increase, other is also increases. The height of the person and weight of the person. If height increases, automatically weight is also increases. If height increases, automatically the person weight is also increases. If one variable increases, other variable also increases. One variable decreases, other is also decreases. That's termed as positive correlation. I'm giving you another example. The ice cream sales and the temperature. If temperature was hot, temperature was increases, automatically ice cream sales was increases. If temperature increases, ice cream sales was increases. So these 2 variables are positive correlation in real-time example. 1 second, please. So temperature increases, automatically ice cream sales also increases. Negative correlation. when two variables varies in opposite direction. Two variables varies in opposite direction. If one variable decreases, other variable which increases. So one variable decreases, other is, so two are in opposite direction. One increases, other decreases, or one decreases, other increases. That's called as negative correlation. That's termed as negative correlation. So this is the example for negative correlation. So yes, now I am entering into linear regression with Python example. I am directly entering into Python demo. So linear regression. I will skip this mathematical representation. I am entering into Python demo. So this is very essential. Later, if needed, we will entering into mathematics during journal writing. So linear regression. Please listen carefully. This was linear regression using Python SCI KitLab. So there are two types of supervised machine learning algorithm. One is regression to predict the exact value. Other one is classification to find whether it's in group 1 or group 2. So here, so we are choosing the first problem, linear regression theory. So there are 5 stages. I am starts from the first stage. Please listen carefully. The stage number 1. So this is for step number 1. Okay. Step number 1, which is termed as import libraries. Step number 1, which is termed as import libraries. So whatever library needed for your Python project, you can import it first. So step number 1, you can type this: import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Yes, fine. So these 3 packages are essential for implementing a machine learning algorithms. This is step number 1. So step number 1, import libraries, import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Then now I am entering into step number 2. I will clear this. Now I will entering into my step number 2. So step number 2, download data from dataset. At the end, I will share the entire dataset. Now, this is the dataset which comprising of only 2 columns for student scores. Okay. So I will click that link. Soon I will share that link to you. Okay. So I will click that link and download the file which is named as student_scores.csv. Yes, fine. Student_scores.csv. So step number 1, 1 second. So step number 1, so download data. Step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for download data from dataset. So from that link, just I copy paste the link in Chrome. Then you can download the dataset. I will place the dataset in D drive dataset/studentscores.csv. Then, so step number 2, read the data from dataset. So dataset equal to pandas object PD dot read_CSV, because the dataset in comma separated value. So read_CSV, then the file name. So dataset equal to PD dot read_CSV dataset name. So step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. Yes, fine. Step number 1, import packages. Step number 2, read data from dataset. I have download the dataset and read from that dataset variable. Now dataset is a variable which hold my entire dataset. Yes, fine. Now I will clear this. Then I will go to my next slide. So step number 3, not step number 3, for in step number 2, dataset.headof, which used to display the first 5 values of my dataset. So the dataset which comprising of 2 columns. The first column is hours studied. The second column is student score mark in their exam. If the student studied 2.5 hours, then they can score 21 marks. If student studied for 5.1 hours, then the student score 47 marks. The student studied for 3.2 hours. The data set says 827 marks, something like that. You can read the data set. So dataset.headoff. Dataset.headoff is a method we choose to display the heading with 5 values. Abstract. Fine. Now, so step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. Now I am entering into my third step. If dataset.describe of, we choose to clear count of data. So totally 25 data are available. Then mean of the data. Then standard deviation of the data. Minimum value and maximum value. Then 25% and 50% data set. So this is what. Then if needed, I want to plot my data, entire dataset data. So this is essential for publishing paper. So dataset.plot. In x-axis hours or hours studied. So hours. Hours is a label of this data set. Yes, fine. So hours. Then y-axis scores. Then style, which is displayed in dots. Okay. Then plot title hours versus percentage. Plot label, x label is hours studied. Plot y label is percentage score. Plot dot show, which shows my entire data set, which display my entire data set. Fine. Which display my entire data set. Hope it's clear. So step number 1 for read data from data set. Sorry, step number 1 for import package. Step number 2, download the data set and then read the data from data sets using pd.read_csv. Then step number 3, before step number 3, dataset.headoff is a method for displaying the first 5 values. Dataset.describe of is a method we choose to display mean, standard deviation, count, etc., etc. And I can plot the entire data in graph 2. So it's very much essential for store this graph for placing it in my journal paper. The next, preparing data. So step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. Step number 3 for preparing data. So I am explaining this. So please listen carefully. Dataset dot indexed location : ::(-1). This means currently we are having only 2 columns. I'm not worried about this because I have to prepare a code for all those data set, for all those algorithms in a standard way. So because of that reason, I will write this code. So dataset.iloc indexed location : ::(-1) dot values. It means that except last column, all the columns are stored in X. Yes. So for example, I am having 10 columns. Here I am having only 2 columns. No worry about that. If example, I am having 10 columns, first 9 columns are taken as input, that is X. The last column which taken as output Y. That's fine. First 10 columns, I am having 10 columns, 9 columns which taken as X, last column which taken as Y. That means X equal to dataset.iloc except last column, all the columns are stored in X. Y equal to dataset.iloc : ::(1). That means only the first column. If I am having 10 column, only the 10th column. So : :10. So that's the thing. So X equal to, except the last column, all other columns are stored in X. The last column is stored in Y. This is for step number 3. Step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. Step number 3 for preparing data. This is very essential. So you are splitting the data into 2 columns. The first column which takes all those input values. The Y column which takes all those output values. That's fine. Hope it's clear. Then so this is very essential. Please listen carefully. So here I am having, please listen carefully. This is very essential. If you won't understand, it's very tough to listen this. So I have two columns. The first column is X. The second column is Y. Okay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 data. Okay. So first data result is 10, or second data result is 20, or third data result is 30, and fourth data result is 40. Okay. So from that, please listen. Totally, I'm having 10 data. Okay. Totally, I'm having 10 data. Okay. From that, I will take first 8 data. Totally, I'm having 10 data. From that, I can take first 8 data for training. Okay. I'm having X is the input, Y is output. Please listen carefully. X is the input, Y is output. I can take first 8 data, 80% of data for training. So 8 data for training. Okay. Remaining 2 data, I have to hide this Y value. Remaining 2 data, I have to hide this Y value. I can take this X value of 9th and 10th data. I can take X value of 9th and 10th data. I can pass this X value of 9th and 10th data to my machine learning model. It can find Y value. Okay, it can find Y value. I can compare that predicted Y value with the real Y value. I can compare the predicted Y value with the real Y value. If both the values are matched, my algorithm was success. If both the things are not matched, my algorithm was failure. So the percentage of accuracy was find out. I'm giving, I will explain again. I have totally 100 data. Please listen carefully. I have totally 100 data. Among that, I can take 80% data. That is first 80 data for training. So based on input and output, the machine can train. Okay. Last 10 data or last 20 data, I can hide the output. I can hide the output. Only input was passed to my trained algorithm. It can produce the output Y. It can produce the output Y. Already I have the output Y for the 20 data. You can compare the predicted result and the original result. Then you can say your model is fit or not. That's what I'm writing this line. From sklearn.model selection, import train test split off. From sklearn.model underscore selection, import train test split. In that, I can call train test split of X, Y, test size is 20%, 0.2, random state is not required. From that, I can split X train, X test, Y train, Y test. Yes. From sklearn.model selection of import train test split. Train test split is a method which can split my X and Y into X train, Y train, X test, Y test. 80% data is stored in X train, Y train. 20% data is stored in X test, Y test. I hope it's clear. I will explain again. Step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from data set. Step number 3 for splitting data into X and Y. All the other columns are taken as X. Only last column which taken as Y. Then step number 4, it's a 80-20 rule. Step number 4, which is named as 80-20 rule. 80% data which taken for training and 20% data which taken for testing. That's called as 80-20 rule. So X train, Y train, which comprising of 80% of data. X test and Y test, which comprising of only 20% of data. So again, repeat the same. Step number 1 for import package. Step number 2 for read data from data set. Step number 3 for preparing data into X and Y. Step number 4 for split off. 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. Then now I am entering into my machine learning algorithm. From sklearn.model, sklearn_linear model, import linear regression. Now first step, linear regression. Regressor equal to linear regression of. So the algorithm was called regressor.fit. I will pass my X train and Y train, 80% data. Regressor.fit, X train, Y train. So 80% data which passed to that regression model. Now the model was trained in the variable regressor. Now I will pass X test value. Now I will pass X test value to regressor.predict method. It can predict Y predicted value. Already I have Y test value. So I appended the same. Actual value is 20. My algorithm can predict 16. Actual value is 27. My algorithm can predict 33. Actual value is 69. My algorithm can predict 75. Actual value is 30. My algorithm can predict 26. Actual value is 62. My algorithm can predict 16. From that, I use some of the system metrics to predict the value. I use some of the basic system metrics to predict the value. So system metrics are mean absolute error. The system metrics are mean absolute error, mean squared error, root mean squared error. These are the three excellent metrics used for machine learning algorithm. First one for mean absolute error, second one for mean squared error, third one for root mean squared error. I will apply this. So from sklearn dot import metrics, print metrics dot mean underscore absolute error of, I will pass the Y test and Y predicted value. So from that, it can return the error rates as well as mean squared error rate as well as root mean squared error rate. So it's having little error because 16 which can predict, 20 which can predict 16. So the error rate is available. This is what the first algorithm works. Step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. Step number 3 for, I am repeating the same again, 1 second. Step number 1 for import packages. Step number 2, download the dataset from the Google Drive and then read using data CV. Then head off, then describe off. Then you can plot your result, plot your data. Then prepare the data using dataset.iloc. So first column, except last column, all other column are taken as X. Only the last column is taken as Y. Then train test split off is a method we choose to split 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. Then linear regression model, regressor equal to linear regressor of regressor.fit x train comma y train, then the model works. Then finally, I can pass X test value, which can predict the Y predicted value. Then some of the metrics, mean square error, mean absolute square error, and root mean square error, which can predict the result. I will explain my second example. After that, I hope everyone having laptop with Python and Visual Code IDE. Everyone having Python as well as Visual Code IDE. So parallelly, you can try it too. So I will explain second example, and then we will try both example in Jupyter parallelly. You can also try in your laptop. I am also trying in my laptop too. Fine? Yes. Then the second example. This is my second example. The first example, data set was already given. The second example, here I will take my X and Y value. Okay. X equal to 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Y equal to 1, 3, something. Y value. Fine. Now, step number 1, I hope everyone already listen carefully. Import packages. So import pandas pd, numpy np, matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Then read the data as array. So x1 equal to np.array of the array value, y1 equal to np.array of the y value. Now I convert it into pandas array. So x comma y. Fine. So you can take the x and y value. Now x and y values are available. Now, train test split off. I will pass x and y value. So 80% data was taken for training. So totally I'm having 10 values. So 8 values are stored in x train, comma y train. 2 values are stored in x test, comma y test. Then I will call linear regression function, then predict of x test, which can predict the x test value. Then using mean absolute error, mean squared error, and root mean square error, which can predict the result. This is a website. This is a website. I will share it to your sir as well as I will share it in your WhatsApp group too. So this is a website which comprising of all those data set, whatever you needed. Whatever data set you can need it, you can download it from this website. Yes, before entering into multiple linear regression, we will see a small demo on linear regression. Small demo on linear regression in Visual Code IDE. So step number 1 for installing Python. Step number 1 for installing Python. Step number 2, step number 1 for install Python. Step number 2 for install Microsoft Visual Code IDE. Step number 1 for install Python. Step number 2 for install Visual Code IDE. Sasireka ma'am, please share your screen for demo. Yeah, the demo screen is available. Please wait a second. So, step number 1 for installing Python. I hope all the students are already installed Python in your system. Step number 2. So step number 1 for install Python. Step number 2 for install Visual Code IDE. So now share Visual Code IDE, please. Share the entire screen first. Or share Visual Code IDE. Students, you can use either you can install Python in your machine and then install Visual Code IDE, which have a Jupyter IDE, so which will very much helpful to you. Otherwise, if you are not having Python and Visual Code supported machine, in that situation, you can use Google Colab too. 1 second, please. Okay, fine. Now, Python is installed in that machine. So Python is installed in that machine. Visual Code IDE also installed. Now we will create, go to the menu file. Please listen carefully, file menu, and you can click new. So new file, it can display text file or Python file from Python or Jupyter notebook. Yes, fine. I hope screen is visible. So you can choose file, new file, then choose Jupyter notebook. Now Jupyter notebook was ready. In that Jupyter notebook, the step number 1 for import packages. So import Python. So whatever packages needed, we need 3 packages. The 3 packages are named as import pandas as PD, import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP. You can specify it in a short form. So NP as well as PD. So import pandas as PD, numpy as NP. The first one also you changed into PD because short form is very essential. So easy to represent. So because of the reason, you can specify it in a short form. Okay. Pandas as PD, numpy as NP, and import matplotlib.pyplot. Matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. So I hope the screen was visible. Similar way, if you are having Visual Code IDE or Google Colab, you can try it parallelly. Otherwise, you can write it in your code in your notebook. Otherwise, I will share it with Praveen sir as well as Jenny ma'am. You can try it in your own too. If possible, you can try it in parallelly. PLT. Plot in short form PLT. You can specify it in 3 letters. Okay. So now I can click that triangle to execute these 3 lines. So import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Wait for a few seconds. So then I can click code again. So it can choose the second line. Okay, first line for packages were installed. Whatever packages needed, the packages are installed. That's fine. Next, first step, import packages. Second step, download data from dataset. So I can open my Chrome and download the datasets. So already I have downloaded. So the downloaded dataset is available in my system. So I will open that file. File open that CSV file to you. File open the students course.csv. So step number 1 for importing packages. Step number 2 for read data from dataset. So already the packages was downloaded. The dataset was downloaded and placed in the folder D colon. So I will place dataset equal to pd.read_csv d:/student_source.csv. You can download from that Google Drive or dataset website. You can download students course.csv and save it here. Remove the next 2 lines. Then I will execute. I will place only 1 line. Dataset equal to pd.read_csv d:/student_source.csv. I will execute the file. Now I will click the code again. So I will type dataset.headoff. Dataset.headoff is a method. Dataset.headoff is a method which choose to display the first 5 columns of the dataset. I will execute the same. Execute and choose Python 3.1 press enter. Yes, first line was executed. Then I will execute the second line. Wait for a second. Then executed again. Now executed. Dataset.headoff. We choose to display. There are 2 columns. First column was hours. Second column was scores. The 5 data was displayed. Now I will describe dataset. Next I will click code. Dataset.describe of. Dataset.describe. Dataset.describe of. So we choose to display the number of data available. Then, so please increase the font size. Control plus. Control plus. Again. Okay, fine, enough. Scroll down. Scroll down. So scroll up first. I will show it again and then we will enter down. So initially, the step number 1, because screen was a little bit smaller in size. Now go to top. So step number 1 for import packages. So import pandas as PD, import numpy as NP, import matplotlib.pyplot as PLT. Yes, execute the file code. Second line, dataset equal to pd.read_csv, your dataset, d:/students course.csv. Then dataset.headoff, it's a method we choose to display the first 5 head data of the dataset. Yes, fine. Then dataset.describe of, it's a method we choose to describe the data, that is count, mean, standard deviation, everything. Because these values are you can specify in your dataset description, that is experimental setup. So these data are very essential. So in Python, you can get the data. That's fine. Now, step number 1 was clear. What's the step number 1? Import packages. Step number 2, read data from dataset. Now, I will plot my data. Dataset.plot of Next code, I will click code, scroll down, and then I will click code. I will type dataset.plot of. Yes, otherwise I will copy paste from my domain too because of time saving. So dataset.plot of x equal to hours, y equal to scores, style equal to O. So it's in bulletin. Plot.title. So my dataset title, because my graph was displayed with a proper title. So title was hours versus percentage. Then plot.x label, hours studied. Plot.y label, percentage score. Plot.show off. Then I will execute my code. Yes, which present the excellent graph. My entire data which displayed. Actually, it's having only 25 data. The entire data which plotted in the graph. So zoom less, please. Control minus. Yes. Yeah, my entire data which properly represented. In x-axis which represented hours studied, y-axis represented percentage scores, and hours versus percentage. So entire things works fine. Now, this is also essential for my experimental setup and place it in my journal paper too. So I will get 2 results. Okay. Now I am entering into my stage, next stage. What's my next stage? Read the data, then prepare the data. So x equal to, I can click code, I will type. Okay. I won't copy paste, I will type. Okay, copy paste, no issue. So x equal to dataset.iloc, that is index location. Zoom it, please. Dataset, x equal to dataset.iloc, press Ctrl plus plus. Click outside and then press Ctrl plus. Okay, fine. Now x equal to dataset.iloc, that is index location, colon, comma, colon, -1, dot values. So x which contains my x values, y which contain all my y values. Execute the code. So first column is taken in x. The last column, that is first column, which is y. I will click code again. I will click code again. I will type x, caps x, and then I will caps x, and then I will execute. Now my x which will be printed. So yes, scroll down. So x, the entire x value. So entire x value which will be printed. Okay, 2.5, 5.1, 3.2, 8.5. Similar way, I will print y, small y. Again, click code. And then type small y, and then click execute. Because x is a variable which comprising of multiple column. Currently one column, but actually x input value having multiple column, but output value is single column. So multiple values, so I have represented caps y, caps x, single column, so I can represent small y. So please, everything having a meaning. Okay, every representation having a meaning in programming. So x for multiple column, y for single column, so small y. So it's return a result. So now I am having x and y value. Now I will go to my 4th step, that is train test split off. Train test split off is a method which choose to split 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. So import sklan.model selection. From the sklan.model selection package, I will import train test split off. From the train test split off, 80% data was taken into x train, y train. 20% data equal to x test, y test. Execute. Now click code again. You can print x train, x underscore train. No, x underscore train is enough. No need to print method. X underscore train, you choose to print the value. X underscore train, execute. You can see it here. So 80% data which is stored here. So x underscore test, x underscore test. So 20% data which is stored here. So yes, please scroll down. So 5 values. Okay. Totally 25 data. So 20% data is 5 values. Okay. Similar way, X, Y train and Y test. Okay, no, enough. So now step number 1, I scroll up. First step for import packages. Second step for read data from dataset. Import packages. Whatever packages needed, I can import first. Then read data from dataset. Then next, head off and describe off, choose to print whatever value required for my journal paper. Then plot excellent graph for my input data. The next, dataset.iloc, it's an index location. So except last column, all other columns are taken as X. Last column is taken as Y. Then X and Y value was printed. Then train test split off is a method. We choose to split 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. That's fine. Now, it's my last stage. We are entering into the next step. What's the next step? For preparing a model. From sklearn.linear model, import linear regression. From sklearn.linear model, so next step, from sklearn.linear model, import linear regression of. So linear regression is a class. So L and R are caps. So from that linear regression model, you can call one second, please. So linear regression model was set. So regressor equal to linear regression of regressor.fit of X train, Y train. So the model was ready. Now from that model, I will pass X test value only. I will pass X test value only. So regressor.predict of. So regressor.predict of X test. So which can return the Y predicted value. Already I have a Y test value. That's fine. Which can predict the Y predicted value. I will execute the code. Which is available in right top 2. Right side, there is a pop-up window. Yes. Execute the same. Sometimes it takes a little slow. So no issue. Okay. So Y predicted equal to regressor.predict of X test. So now I will print Y test value first. Y underscore test. It's the original value. Y underscore test. Y underscore test. Yes. It's the original value. What's the original value? 20, 27, 69, 30, 62. Now I will print Y predicted value. My algorithm predict a new result. So I can print Y predicted value. Y underscore PRED. Execute. Now which can return the result as 16.20. Instead of 20, my algorithm which predicts 16.8. Instead of 27, my algorithm can predict 30.73. Instead of 30, my algorithm something. Okay. So this is what my predicted result. This is what original result. So I can compare using mean absolute error and mean squared error and root mean squared error. I will compare this using these 3 lines. So this is what my first algorithm work. So from sklearn all those metrics are available, all those required results are available, entire things which works fine. So it can return the results as mean absolute error, mean squared error, and root mean squared error. So I hope it's clear. So the students are having their own laptop. So you can try these experiments by your own. If you have any issues, you can share it with Praveen sir, or otherwise share it with Jenny ma'am, or otherwise no issue. Praveen sir or Jenny ma'am share my WhatsApp number too. So you can share it my WhatsApp with your error screenshot. If Python installation, or if Jupyter installation, or if Colab installation, or execution of this code, it makes any error, you can WhatsApp me anytime for today. Then only it's possible for you are entering into day 2 as well as day 3 session, because you can acquire all those results and preparing a journal paper for day 2 as well as day 3. So these results are very essential. That's fine. So this is what the plan. 1 second, I will share my screen too for my second example. One second, please. I will share one more example. So this is what the entire process works. I will share my screen, please. Sasireka ma'am, please stop the screen. Yes, thank you. So I will share my screen for it's the last demo. So this is what the agenda. 1 second. So first one for linear regression. Now one classification for decision tree. After that, I will give some assignment and all those things. You can practice it. Then you can see the tomorrow session too. 1 second, please. Please wait a second. So the next algorithm, we are entering into next core algorithm, which is for decision tree. Students, you can practice it after that time too. So your Praveen sir and your team will give the entire time, as well as you are having your evening time too. So you can have any errors, any issues for this execution. You can call me at any time. Otherwise, WhatsApp me. I will 100% support you. Then only you are strong for day 2. So you can practice continuously for this day 1. Then only it's possible for day 2. I will share the entire material with Praveen sir as well as Jenny ma'am. So you can collect that material too. If you have any issues, anytime, you can share that screenshot. So fine. So this is the last example. So just for 10 minutes, I will explain this example too. After that, Sasireka ma'am will explain for how to prepare a journal, for a small intro on how to prepare a journal paper. So with that, we conclude this today's session. And tomorrow session, which takes a little bit lengthier time too, for the entire implementation of LaTeX as well as paper result. Okay. So the day 3 session, we are having some breaks too, leave days too. So you can practice it, whatever things possible. If you face issues, you can share it too. So now fine. The second algorithm, which is for decision tree, it's for classification. So from that, I'm giving you an example. Please listen carefully. I will give you an example. This is my data set. Okay. These things which will be my entire data set. The entire data set which having 10 data. Okay. Entire data set having 10 data. From the 10 data, I will take 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. In that, this first 3 column, which is taken as input X, the last column, which taken as output Y. Okay. The first 3 column, which taken as input X, the last column, which taken as output Y. Yes, fine. So, yes, from that, I can build a decision tree. From that, I can build a decision tree. So, based on the status, if refund is yes, if refund is yes, please see here, if refund is yes, if refund is yes, if refund is yes, always cheat is no. Okay, if refund is yes, always cheat is no. So I can build this decision. Automatically system can build. For example, I will explain for you. Automatically from the training data, system can build this decision tree. Yes, fine. Then next, if refund is no, so refund is no, refund is no, refund is no, refund is no. If refund is no, then it can see the second column. That is marital status. If refund is no, then the marital status is married. Refund is no, then marital status is married. Then it can say the cheat is no. So refund is no, then marital status is no, then it can show cheat is no. If refund is no, then marital status is single or divorced, then it can say, you can check taxable income. It's greater than, less than 80%, no, then something based on the training data. How we are building a decision tree. Similar way, system can automatically build a decision tree for the entire data set. So based on this, so it can build the entire tree. Okay, fine. So entire tree was ready. Now I will explain the same code again. So I will clear this. So remaining 2 test data, we can apply that. It can find cheat is yes or no. Then now I will go to my machine learning algorithm. Please listen carefully. So this is the problem statement. Import packages. I will explain the same again. Import packages, yes, correct. Then next, read data from data set, petrol consumption.csv, yes. Then I will use either that method or use last column, except last column petrol consumption. Drop that last column. All these columns are taken as X. Only the petrol consumption column is taken as Y. Prepare the data. Then, so first one for read data from, first one for import package, second one for read data from data set. Then train test split off is a method we choose to split 80% data for training and 20% data for testing. Then use the algorithm for decision tree regressor and fit the model. Then print the result. Yes, fine. So this is what my decision tree algorithm works. Similar way, all those algorithms are work similar like this. So it's very easy. So you can try it during your free time. If issues, you can ping me. Then we will all those metrics we will share it later. So this is what plan of today's things. Then Sasireka ma'am will share about journal paper writing. Madam, please. Sasireka madam. One second.
Good afternoon, students. Hope am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Good afternoon, students. Let us see how to write a research paper. Then just we can see some overview about the research paper. So the agenda is, let us going to see the structure of research paper and steps to write each section, then tips for effective writing, then common pitfalls to avoid. First one is importance of research paper. Why we need to write a research paper? As an engineer, our aim is contribute something, contribute our knowledge to the society. So we have to contribute our knowledge means we have to publish our research findings as a paper. 1 second. Sorry, listen. So, as an engineer, we have to contribute something to the society. So, our finding need to be communicated to others, to the other community. So, for that purpose, we have to publish our findings. And also, today I got accuracy for my problem 90% means I can set it as a goal for the future engineer. Future engineers trying to give their best to beat my goal, my findings. So for that purpose, whenever we are finding something, whenever we are getting knowledge about some problem, we have to publish it as a paper, journal paper, or in some peer-reviewed journals we have to publish. As an engineer, this is our responsibility. So research paper structure. One research paper should include this field. These all are the key sections in a research papers. First one is abstract and second one is introduction. Third one, literature review, then methodology, results, discussions, conclusions. So first one is abstract. So abstract means it's a concise summary, precise summary about our purpose. Why we are going to publish our research. That is, what is our finding? That is the purpose. And second one is method. How we achieve our goals. Then third one is result. Fourth one is conclusion. So these all the four terms need to be precisely summarized in abstract. Clear? Precisely, aptly, it should be summarized and given in the section abstract. So one key idea is we can write abstract after completing our full paper. Then you can precisely write. Then only you can precisely write our abstract. Clear? And mostly the abstract should be maximum of 250 words. So within 250 words, we have to complete our abstract. And second is introduction. Second section is introduction. In this section, we have to mention what's the context, that is, what is the scope of our objective. And we have to mention our objectives also. So in this context, what are the things included is problem statements, background informations, objectives, or research questions. These all are the terms should be included in the section introduction. So problem statement means your problem statement definitely define what is your scope, that is for which problem. The problem should be limited. Whenever you are selecting a problem, the problem should be limited. The problem should has a scope. For example, if you are taking object detection as a problem, you have to mention whether this object detection is used for robotics. In robotics terms, we are going to use object detection, or whether it's object detection going to use for edge computing. Likewise, we have to define our context, that is scope. Our problem should be limited, bounded. Clear? And then background informations, you have to analyze about background information. In the selected problem, what are the already available informations are available. The things need to be mentioned in introduction. And objectives are research questions. What is my objective? Suppose I selected object detection as a research problem, means I need to mention what is in object detection, what I am going to deliver, what I am going to contribute. That objective need to be clearly given in the section. Objectives are in the section introduction. Okay, this is a second section. First section is abstract. Abstract is a precise summary, and in introduction you have to mention our research objectives as well as context. The context you have to clearly mention what's the scope of your problem. So that you select a bounded problem as a research problem. Then third section is literature survey. So the literature survey, we have to show what is the known and identify research gap. So in the literature review, we are going to analyze about existing system in state of art. What are the researchers, what are the researchers are already analyzed about my problem. Already they have what result they have published. What is the research gap in that published result? So we have to analyze about, and we need to identify the research gap. That research gap need to be mentioned in the section literature review. And whenever you are selecting state-of-art methods, you have to select credible resources. That is, credible resources means peer-reviewed journals. That is, the journals are backed up with evidence. The journals published in a peer-reviewed papers are backed up with evidence. So that type of resources you have to select. Then only you can measure your result. Then only you can evaluate your performance. So whenever you are selecting existing systems, for literature review, whenever you are selecting research papers, you have to choose credible resources. That is important. And second term, you have to take similar studies. That is, you need to bound your research problem. So within bound, what are the already papers are published? You have to analyze, and you have to select that papers, and you have to find the research gap from that papers. And then highlight gap. After identified your gaps, you have to highlight. Okay, so this is third section. Then we go for fourth. Fourth one is methodology. So while defining methodology, you have to define both in terms of quantitative as well as qualitative. That is, quantitative in the sense is a measurable. So you have to define in terms of measurable. Technically, you have to define which methods are used and how the methods are used to improve the quality. That is, you have to mention. Then you have to mention what are the tools are used, whether Python or in Python, which package is used, and then data sets, what are the data sets you are used for your application. Third things you have to mention under methodology. And then justification for choices. Then you have to justify why you are choosing the corresponding method, or why you are choosing the corresponding tool, why you are choosing corresponding data set. Likewise, you have to give justification for your choices. So these all the things are come under the category methodology. And then next term is results. So after finding the methodology, correct methodology, you have to clearly define the result. So that is, what is your findings? Presently, what you find from your research by executing your system, what you find that need to be given in terms of tables, charts, graphs. These all are the elements which used to clearly define your result. But here you need to note one thing. Here you need not to include interpretation, because in result this interpretation should be given in that the field discussion. Because discussion we are going to discuss about result. In result just we are give only exact result what I received while executing my code, what I received, that thing need to be mentioned in the section result. Clear? So here you need not to interpret your result. You need not to give any justification about result under the section result. In this section, just you need to mention, you need to give your exact result in terms of tables, charts, graphs. And next section is discussion. So in this discussion, you have to analyze your result and you have to give interpretation about result. What your result says, and in which way your result get improved other than your existing systems. Already in research, there are so many existing systems are available. So in which way you got a better result than existing system? That thing you need to clearly define under discussion. And then your discussion should be connected to research question. Already we have defined research questions under the section introduction. So your discussion should be connected with your research question. That is, you have to justify these research objectives are achieved by my methodology. Likewise, you have to justify in discussion. Then implication of findings you have to mention. Then limitation. In your finding, if any limitations are present, you have to mention that limitation under the field discussion, because this for future enhancement. As a future enhancement, you have to mention. This is discussion. Then at last, conclusion. So in conclusion, you have to summarize about the study. So the summarization should be in a clear way. That is, what is a key takeaway? While reading my research paper, what is a takeaway? That is, I need to clearly given under the term conclusion. So that is, key takeaway should be clearly mentioned as in conclusions. And contribution to the field. Because from my findings, what is a contribution for that field, for this society? That is, I need to mention. And then recommendation or next step, what is a future enhancement? That is also should be given for conclusion. So this is our conclusion. Then references. So in references, what are the sources you used to implement your project? What are to implement your system? What are the sources you have used? All the sources need to be mentioned under references. To write a references, there are some tools are available. So these tools are used to arrange references in a given format. Each and every journal take a different formats. So you have to arrange your references according to the specified format. So for that, we can use this type of tools. So this is a main sections available in a research paper. There are 8 sections. Once again, listen. There are 8 sections. One is abstract, then introduction, literature review, methodology, results, discussions, conclusions, references. So these all the 8 sections need to be arranged in an order. In your research paper, you are taking one research paper means in your research paper, these all the 8 sections need to be arranged in an order. Then tips for effective writing. So how will you effectively write this research paper? Our research paper should be selected by peer-reviewed journals, means you have to write effectively. Then only it will be selected by peer-reviewed journals. Then only you can you can publish your findings to all the communities. You can make your findings to reach all peoples. Okay, so that is our aim. Whenever we are find something, whenever using research, through research, whenever we are implement something, our aim is we need to publish that to all the scientists, all level peoples. We need to we need to make our paper should reach. So for that, you have to effectively write. So for effective writing, what are the things you need to mention? You need to consider. First one is be clear and concise. So precise is an important thing. Concise, that is apt. Your writing should be very apt. You have to give clear information without any confusion. You have to give a clear information. That is the thing. And second one is avoid jargon. Jargon means some special statements. That is some special statement specific for the particular community or particular area. Some special words are there are some special words used in a particular community or particular area or particular state. But we should not include that jargons inside our research paper. While writing the research paper, you have to avoid that jargons. Suppose the jargons, the specific word is related to our problem means you can include, but as much as possible we have to avoid. And proofread. So multiple times you have to read whether it can clear for our clear to understand, whether all the peoples can understand. Third things you have to confirm with our people, with our paper. So for that purpose you have to read multiple times. Again and again you have to read. Then seek feedback from peers. So by applying to journals, after completing, you have completed everything means by applying to journals, you can receive so many reviews from the experts. So by accepting that reviews, according to the reviews, you can change your paper, then you can refine your paper as a good paper. At last, you can get a good result. You can publish your paper in a well peer-reviewed journals. Clear? So these are tips for effective writing, right? And these are the guidelines for writing a successful research paper. How will you publish your paper in a peer-reviewed journal? These are the points. First one is use innovative ideas. First, you have to define clear ideas. That idea should be unique to define, to solve the problem you have taken. So that idea should be unique and justifiable. You have to justify your idea is unique as well as it can give good results. That is, you need to justify. And second, explain different scientific terminologies and provide a track for bibliography. So different scientific terminologies need to be defined clearly. Whatever terminologies you used, that terms need to be clearly explained, and strictly follow all specification and approving publishing authorities. Thoroughly proofread, that is important. And then in the case another style, you have to use unique style of writing, then have a clear understanding of content, then writing should be simple, avoid unnecessary jargons as much as possible, avoid unnecessary jargons, develop in-depth knowledge of the subject. So in your subject, first you should get a clear knowledge. So these are the some guidelines for writing a paper. So then common pitfalls to avoid. I think all of you hear about the word plagiarism. What is plagiarism? So before publishing your paper is checked for plagiarism. That is, whenever you are taking some ideas from one journal means you have to clearly cite that journal. Otherwise, it's shown in a plagiarism. You should not copy any content from any resources. You can take any methodology from the resources. So if you take any methodologies from any paper, any other research paper means you have to clearly cite. But you should not copy any content from any research papers or any other AI platforms, any other. So that things can be identified, that things can be listed as plagiarism. and over, so that you have to clear conscious about this plagiarism. While writing a research paper, you have to give clear conscious about plagiarism. Your paper should have 0% of plagiarism to be published. You want to publish in a peer-reviewed journal means there should be a 0% of plagiarism in your paper. You can use any techniques, existing techniques you can use, but you have to clearly cite. And then second thing is overloading with unnecessary details. So while publishing some paper, you have to clearly, precisely give some necessary details only. Don't give any unnecessary details. And ignoring formatting guidelines. So you should not, for each and every journal, they may have a clear format. So you have to follow that format. Okay. In later classes, we can see how to format our research paper using LaTeX. So LaTeX is a very good formatting tool. We can study in later tomorrow session. We can study how to format our research paper using LaTeX. Then poor organization, flow is important. So for flow is not in a order. You're studying a paper, everyone can understand this is a flow of research, this is a research. So it is they can able to reproduce by reading your paper, by reading your research findings, they can able to reproduce your techniques. If so, your paper is good. So likewise, you have to check after completing paper, you have to check whether it is reproduction is possible by reading my paper. So if so, it is a good paper. So these all are the main mistakes you have to avoid while writing a paper. So then these are the things about how to write a good paper. Then using one example, we can see how these sections can be written. So I have taken object detection as my example. So object detection is listen, consider this object detection is one domain. That is not a problem. First, in the earlier I explained, you have to mention one bounded problem. Whenever you are trying to solve one problem, you have to select one bounded problem. So you have to define a clear scope for your problem. So here I have collected object detection as a domain. So under that, first step is define a problem. In object detection, which problem I can select? There are so many problems are there. So first one is, listen, some example for these problems are, how can object detection models improve real-time performance in autonomous vehicles? So in autonomous vehicle is a one ongoing research. That is, without driver, how will you use the autonomous vehicle driving? For that, object detection is a main problem. So they while doing autonomous driving, we need to find the objects, or that is the objects are
Wait a second. Sasireka ma'am will connect.
Oh, sorry, sir. Because of some network issues, it get disconnected. Sorry, students.
Share your screen. Yes, fine.
Now, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes. So these all are some sample problems in object detection. Likewise, you can select. First, you have to bound your problem clearly. Whenever you are select, you have to clearly define scope of your problems. Clear. And here another one example is given. Object detection be adapted for low resource edge devices. Edge computing is now is a ongoing research field. So in edge devices, can you implement this object detection? You can take problem in related to the terms. So these all are these all are some example problems in the domain object detection. So first you have to clearly bound your problem. Then second step is structure your paper around the problem. So around your problem, you have to structure. You are selecting one problem means you have to around the problem, you have to set your paper problem. First one is abstract. Abstract is a clear, concise summarize about methods, purpose, conclusion. So you have to clearly give not clearly, precisely you have to mention what's the objective of your problem, what is the method used in your problem, what's the result. Here one example is given. This study addresses the challenge of optimizing object detection model for real-time application in autonomous vehicles by, so first precisely I have given purpose of my study or purpose of my system. And then by experimenting with YOLA version 5 and SSD architecture, we propose a lightweight framework that reduces latency 20% without compromising accuracy. So in the second line, precisely I mentioned what methodology I am going to propose one lightweight framework and how I measured that framework is better than existing system in which terms. These all the things should be mentioned precisely in the section abstract. Then again, next key section is introduction. So in introduction, you have to mention the information about background, research question, objectives. So first background. So in background, you need to define object detection and its significance. We have selected object detection as a domain. So we have to give some background information about the domain object detection. Then discuss advancement and common challenges. So first you have to define its significance. What's the need for object detection? In which are the applications these object detections are used? And in second case, what's the advancement in current research is in current ongoing research, what are the advancements are I have find already invented in the field of object detection. In already inventing, what are the common challenges? For example, computational cost, real-time performance improvement. So likewise, you have to give the explanation. And second, research question. So what is my research question, research objective? That is I need to mention. So an example is, how can computational efficiency in object detection model be improved for in edge computing? If suppose you are selecting a object detection model in edge devices means, how can computational efficiency in detection models give? You can take it as a question and objective, then highlight your objectives. Then third term is literature review. So for literature review, you have to select the credible resources. You have to select papers from credible resources and you need to identify the benchmarks for object detections and challenges. In the previous system, what are the challenges are there? That is you need to identify. Then next term is methodology. So in methodology, you need to mention which methodology we are going to use. So here, and you need to give the methodology, techniques, implementation, data sets, all the techniques you are using. So technically you have to implement and you have to give in the section methodology. You are using Python language and you are using specific package means that package you need to mention. Then only the other scientists or other researchers can reproduce our system. Whenever we are publish something, we want to use others should be get benefit from our research paper. That is our aim. So for that purpose, for the reproduction, you have to mention what are the packages you are using, what are the data sets you are using, what are the techniques you are using. Everything need to be mentioned in methodology. Cells. In terms of metrics, already we study, evaluate our problems. So that in terms of that metrics, you have your finding. Okay. Sorry. Am I audible now? Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay, okay. So this the table. So this is one example table. So likewise, you have to give a clear table, or you can give this table in terms of chart, but don't give any repeated information. That is, you are clear. You defined in terms of table means don't draw the same table as a graph. So repeated information is not needed in research paper. So already we seen, don't give any unnecessary details. Clear? So you mentioned your research in terms of table means always use table, or in other term you can use a chart. Clear? Then discussion. The last is discussion. So in discussion, sorry. So in this discussion, first you need to interpret your result. So they have one, there is a one example, one example statement, the proposed pipeline implement influence speed by 44%, enabling real-time detection on mobile devices. So this is one way to interpret your result. By analyzing your finding, you need to interpret your result in terms of word. So in terms of word, you need to mention in the under the section discussion. Then comparison, you have to compare with the previous things. So by comparing my system improvement, likewise you can give. Then limitation, that is what's a limitation in our system. That thinking has some limited amount of, some acceptable amount of limitation. Whenever you are finding something, you are finding definitely have some acceptable range of limitations. That limitation you have to mention frankly. Then only the next generation, the next batch of students can take our problem as their goal. They are taking our problem as our solution as a benchmark, and they are trying to improve the accuracy or in other terms. So that is, you need to mention what's the limitation of your system. And future work, you need to suggest some future work for yours. And conclusion, all the key points and key findings, and what's the contribution to using this system, what you contribute to this society, all the things you have to mention in conclusion. At last, you need to reference. So references, don't forget, whenever you are take some techniques from some other paper, you have to cite that paper properly in your system, and you need to give under reference. So each and every journal has its own way to give the references. So you need to read that way, and accordingly you have to arrange your references. Clear? So this is some introduction about how to write a research paper. Okay, that's